Have you ever tried inserting an IV cannula and failed multiple times? Or are you afraid of hurting your patient? By the end of this class, you will understand IV cannulation better than most beginners. I'll teach you everything from choosing the correct vein to successful cannulation on the first attempt, including professional tips that experts use every day. We'll see here learning objectives. By the end of this class, you will know what IV cannulation is, why IV cannulation is performed, indications and contraindications, vein anatomy, cannula size and color codes, equipment preparation, patient assessment, step-by-step IV cannulation procedure, troubleshooting difficult veins, complications and management, and then tips for first attempt success. These are all the learning objectives we are going to learn, we are going to cover in this topic. First, we'll see what is IV cannulation. Here, intravenous cannulation is the process of inserting a small flexible plastic catheter into a peripheral vein to obtain direct access to the bloodstream. Insertion, it is a process of insertion of a flexible plastic catheter into the vein, and then after insertion the metal needle is removed, leaving only the soft plastic cannula inside the vein. We'll see how. Why is it called a peripheral IV cannulation? Here, because the cannula is inserted into superficial peripheral veins rather than central veins. That's what it is called, peripheral IV cannulation. Examples include hand veins, forearm veins, wrist veins, cubital fossa veins. We'll see why do we perform IV cannulation. Here, first reason is administration of IV fluids. Patients with dehydration, blood loss, shock, burns, vomiting, diarrhea. Administration of IV fluids. And then second one is administration of medications. For antibiotics, it may be pain medications, emergency drugs, chemotherapy or sedatives. Next, blood transfusion. For blood transfusion, here for whole blood, packed RBCs, platelets or even plasma. Next, emergency access. Cardiac arrest in the case of cardiac arrest, trauma, sepsis, anaphylaxis or stroke. And then next, contrast administration. CT scan contrast and then MRI contrast. And then nutritional support for total parenteral nutrition. Next, we'll see very important thing, vein anatomy here. To become good cannulation, you must understand veins. Yes, you must understand veins. Veins are made up of 3 layers. First one is tunica intima. Here inner smooth layer and then allows blood flow. And then second one is a tunica media, that is middle muscular layer and then less muscular than arteries. And then third one is tunica adventitia, that is outer connective tissue and then provides support. Next we'll see characteristics of veins. Veins characteristics. Veins are thin wall and then low pressure, compressible and then contain valves and then appear bluish under skin. These are all the characteristics of vein. Here, direction of blood flow. How blood flows. Peripheral veins, that leads to larger veins and then heart. Here, always insert the cannula towards the heart. We'll see common veins used. First one is dorsal metacarpal veins. Here it is a most common and then easy to visualize, less painful and then good for adults. Dorsal metacarpal veins. Next, cephalic veins. Here these veins are large, stable and then easy to cannulate and then preferred in emergencies, in the case of emergency. Third one is basilic vein. Here this vein large and then straight, moves easily and then requires stabilization. It needs stability. And then median cubital vein. Here these are large, very visible and then excellent in emergencies. Not ideal for long-term IV therapy due to movement, elbow movement. And then we need to avoid veins over joints, and then infected skin, burns, and then edematous areas, fistula arm, and then lymphedema arm, and then mastectomy side, that is when clinically appropriate, and then lower limbs in adults unless necessary. Next we'll see IV cannula parts. Most important: needle, catheter, flashback chamber, hub, injection port, wing, then protective cap. We'll see size here, IV cannula sizes, color, gauge, flow rate, uses. Okay, we'll see one by one. Color is, first color is, we'll see orange. Gauge is 14. Flow rate is very high. And then use in. This is used in major trauma. And then second, gray. One is 16 gauge. And then it is flow rate is high. And then used in surgery. Next comes to color, that is green. It is 18. And then high, it is used for blood transfusion. And then comes to the next one, that is pink, 20 gauge. This is flow rate is moderate, and then it is used for most in adults. And then next color is blue. It is in a 22 gauge. Flow rate is low, and then it is used for elderly persons. And then next color is yellow. Here it is in a gauge is 24, and then flow rate is very low, and then it is used in pediatrics. And the next color is purple. It is in a 26 gauge. Flow rate, that is neonates, and then used in NICU. This is all about IV cannula sizes. Remember. And then here we'll see the trick. Big gauge number, small cannula. Small gauge number, large cannula. And then equipments required. Here IV cannula, tourniquet, alcohol swabs, chlorhexidine, and then gloves. Tape, transparent dressing, extension tubing, and then normal saline flush, syringe, sharps container. These are the equipments we need for IV cannulation. And then next, patient assessment. Very important step here. It is before inserting, we need to communicate about allergies, and then previous difficult IV, and then dominant hand, previous surgery, dialysis, pain, skin condition, hydration. We need to look. We need to ask the patient. Next, vein assessment. We need to look, feel, tap gently, palpate, and then assess elasticity. This is vein assessment. We need to look, feel, tap gently, palpate, and then assess elasticity. And then never depend only on vision. Yes. And then good veins feel soft, springy, elastic, and straight. Next, we'll see most important part of this procedure is step by step IV cannulation procedure. First step is hand hygiene. And then comes to the second step, introduce yourself and then explain procedure, obtain consent, and then wear gloves. After that, apply tourniquet 7 to 10 cm above insertion site. We need to apply tourniquet. And then next step, ask patient to make fist, and then do not pump repeatedly. Next step, we need to select vein, and then we need to choose straight vein rather than joints, and then avoid bifurcation. Next, clean skin. We need to apply chlorhexidine and then allow to dry completely, never touch again. And then next step, anchor vein, and then we need to pull skin downward. This prevents vein rolling. Next step, hold cannula correctly, bevel facing upward. We need to place it upward, and then in the angle 15 to 30 degree. And then next, pierce skin, and then smooth motion, advance slowly. We need to advance slowly. And then watch flashback, blood enters the chamber. This confirms vein entry. And then next, lower angle, advance 2 to 3 mm further. Okay. And then after that, we need to tie catheter, that is thread catheter, push catheter, and then not the needle here. This is very important. Push catheter but not the needle. And then release tourniquet. After that, remove stylet, dispose immediately, never recap that one. And then next, apply pressure above catheter tip, prevent blood leakage. To prevent blood leakage, we need to apply pressure. Next, connect extension set and flush saline. And then secure cannula. And then transparent dressing, tape, label, date, time and initials. And then checking patency here. That is flush saline and then observe. We need to observe for no swelling, no pain, easy flow, no leakage, blood return when appropriate. When appropriate only. Next, common mistakes. Here, some persons do that: wrong angle, deep insertion, moving needle excessively, touching cleaned skin, poor stabilization, ignoring flashback, and then removing needle too early, and then forgetting tourniquet. These are the common mistakes we should stop. And then next we'll see the important thing of this topic is complications. Hematoma. Here cause is vein puncture, and then management is remove cannula, apply pressure, and then we need to apply cold compress. Next, infiltration. Here fluid enters tissue. We can observe the signs: swelling, color, cool skin, pain, and treatment is stop infusion, elevate limb. Next, extravasation. Here vesicant drug leaks. That is, it can cause tissue necrosis. Here urgent requires urgent management. Next complication is phlebitis, inflamed vein, and then we can observe pain, warmth, redness, remove cannula. Next, infection, redness, first fever. Prevent with aseptic technique. We need to prevent this with aseptic technique. And then air embolism. It is a rare. Okay. Prevent by removing air from tubing. And then next is nerve injury. Next complication is nerve injury, sharp pain, tingling, and then that time we need to remove cannula immediately. Next we'll see difficult IV access. Warm compress, dilates veins, lower limb position, that is like allow arm below heart. And then gentle tapping, that is stimulates dilation. And then hydration, improves vein filling. Ultrasound guidance, best for difficult vein cities. And then vein finder, useful in obesity and then children and in the case of dark skin. Next, professional tips. Okay, here always choose distal vein first, save proximal veins, and then choose straight vein. Anchor vein firmly, don't rush. Watch flashback carefully, advance only after flashback. Never reinsert needle into catheter, and then secure properly, flush every time. These are some of the tips. Next, when to remove IV cannula. In the case of pain, redness, swelling, leakage, occlusion, clotting. Completed therapy and then suspected infection, or in the case of phlebitis. And then documentation. It's very important. Each and every procedure we need to document. Here document that in that date, time, cannula size, site, number of attempts, patient response, IV fluids, medication, and then lastly your signature has to be there. We'll see. We'll do revision. Okay. Quick. What is IV cannulation? Here insertion of a flexible catheter into peripheral vein for venous access. And then best adult cannula size is 20 gauge, that is pink color. for most routine therapies. And then best insertion angle is 15 to 30 degree with the bevel facing up. And then next, what confirms vein entry? Blood flashback in the flashback chamber. And then what should you do after flashback? That time lower the angle, advance slightly, then thread only the catheter, not the needle. And then name 3 major complications. Here major complications of IV cannulation is infiltration, phlebitis and hematoma. We'll see some tricks, memory tricks here. Cannula size. Smaller gauge number, that is equal to large cannula. And then it is faster flow. And then vein selection. Start distal, move proximal if needed. And then cannulation steps. A, B, C, D. In this, we can remember. That is, assess the patient and vein, bevel up and puncture, confirm flashback and advance catheter, and then dress, flush, secure and document. These are the tricks. Okay. If you found this masterclass helpful, like the video, subscribe for more practical nursing and medical skill tutorials, and leave a comment with the procedure you do like to learn next. Thank you for watching.